Hi everyone, it is me, Miss Yolanda, and today we are going to look at tools that we use in the kitchen. Now, a lot of the things I'm going to show you, you probably have in your kitchen too, that your family uses to help them with cooking and preparing food. I'm going to start with this one. This is called spatula. The spatula is really useful for picking things up in a pan and flipping them over like a pancake. I bet you have a spatula in your kitchen, and it might look like this one, and it might look a little different. Maybe it's made out of metal. Maybe it's made out of silicone. Spatula. Wooden spoon. Wooden spoons like this one are really good for mixing or for cooking and for serving. So if you wanted to pick up some mashed potatoes, and you could use a wooden spoon to serve with. I have another spoon here. This one is a silicone spoon. They're similar, but the material is different. So the silicone is a flexible rubber, and it has a very high resistance to heat. So if you're cooking with it, it's not going to melt the same way plastic would. So silicone is really good for cooking with. Silicone. All right, I have another spoon. This one is a slotted spoon. Do you see the 3 slots right there? A slotted spoon is really good for when you're cooking with something that has a lot of liquid in it. So for example, noodles. We cook noodles in a pot with water. If you're wanting to take out some noodles, a slotted spoon is really good for that because it'll take out the noodles and the water will drain through the different slots. Slotted spoon. Speaking of pasta, I have this really cool tool right here. This one is called a pasta spoon. And it's for pasta. Like, think of spaghetti. If you wanted to serve spaghetti, you would pick it up by the little tongs up here, and the water is going to come out through the slots. Pasta spoon. Some people call this spaghetti spoon. It's a very useful tool. All right, another one. Another spoon. We have a lot of spoons in the kitchen. Is this one right here. This is called ladle. Ladle. The ladle has a little bowl on the end, and it's really good for serving soup or sauce or even drinks. Ladle. I think that might be it for my spoons. Let's see what other tools I have. Oh, this one is great. Whisk. Can you say whisk? The whisk is for mixing. It's really good for mixing a batter. Maybe you're making pancakes or muffins or anything else. Whisk. I bet you know this one right here. It has a rounded blade like this. It's called a pizza cutter. It's for cutting up a pizza more easily. Pizza cutter. Very useful tool if you eat a lot of pizza like I do. This one is one of my favorites. Baster. Can you say baster? The baster is really good for when you're baking and you want to put juice on top of something you're baking, like say a turkey. You're making a big turkey, and you want it to be nice and juicy. So you use your baster to pick up the juice and put it on top of the turkey. These are really fun to play with. Baster. Look how cool this one looks. This is called a masher. What do you think we use it for? For mashing. So if you have potatoes that you've cooked, you can mash them into mashed potatoes. Masher. Look at this cool one right here. This one has silicone on the end. Remember we talked about silicone being a really flexible type of rubber? This is called a pastry brush. We use this to put sauce or butter on top of food or any other kind of liquid on top of a food. Pastry brush. We use a lot in baking and other types of cooking in general. All right. This one is called peeler. It has a blade right here in the middle, and you use it to peel things like carrots or potatoes. Peeler. Can opener. This is for opening a can. There's a circular blade right there. You latch it onto your can and you turn this handle right here and it opens your can. Can opener. Grater. This is a grater. On one side are tiny little blades that go out, and another side is smooth. You use the rough side with the tiny blades that go out for grating. This is really good for grating a big block of cheese into little bits of shreds or grating different types of veggies. Grater. These are measuring cups. They come in different sizes from 1 cup to half a cup to this one is 1/4 of a cup. It looks like I'm missing my 1/3 of a cup here. Measuring cups. These are very essential when you are baking and making something from a recipe that tells you how much to use. Measuring cups. And we have measuring spoons. Tablespoon, a teaspoon, half of a teaspoon, and 1/4 of a teaspoon. They're all different sizes. When you're following a recipe, it'll often tell you how much of something to use in terms of spoons. And one more thing I wanted to show you was this handy tool. This is called colander. Can you say colander? Colander. A colander has all these different slots and holes for draining something. So if I'm making noodles in a big pot full of water, when I'm done, I can pour that pot of noodles in here and all the water is going to come out and I have my noodles. A colander is also really useful for rinsing off fruit or veggies. You just put them in and run it under water and all the water comes through and you have your clean fruit or veggies. Colander. All right, I had fun showing you all of my kitchen tools. Why don't you go look in your kitchen now and see what you have? I bet you have a lot of the same things. Maybe yours look different. Maybe you have different things. Goodbye.